I'm back with another craft that you can do from inside out too. All you need are watercolors, watercolor paper, glue, and salt for this. So a big premise of the movie is that Riley's experiences and thoughts that she have about herself are forming her sense of self, and that's what's driving all of her actions, which is such a cool concept to talk about with kids. So these upward lines with the glue are these thoughts that she believes about herself, and they all intermingle to create her sense of self. So you can start out by talking to the students about what are their thoughts that they believe to be true about themselves. Like, I am a good person, I'm helpful, I am loved. What are their thoughts that they have about themselves? And you're going to assign a color to each one. So there's one upward line from the glue for each of those thoughts that they have about themselves. After you do your glue design, you're going to sprinkle the salt all over it and then shake off the excess. And then you're going to assign a color to each of those thoughts that they have about themselves. They can choose whatever colors they want, but each of these upward lines with the glue are going to be a separate color, and then of course they're going to intermingle. So you can start with the first one. Maybe yellow is I am a good person. So they're going to think that in their mind, they're going to go up the line, and then they're just going to add little bits of yellow. The watercolor will just kind of spread. If you just touch it to the wet glue and the salt will absorb it, and it just kind of spreads. So after they have sprinkled that all throughout, they're going to go on to their next core belief about themselves. Maybe it's I'm a hard worker, and they're going to think about that thought as they just kind of touch the watercolors going up the line for this one, and then they're just going to kind of sprinkle it again throughout. So this is such a cool thing to talk about with the kids. We can talk about how the experiences that we have kind of shape the way that we view the world and the way that we view ourselves. And they could be negative experiences that cause us to have negative thoughts, or they could be positive experiences that have positive thoughts, or vice versa, right? It's really about the way that we interpret the experiences that we have with the people around us, the meaning that we make from them, the stories that we tell ourselves, right? So it's part of kind of like a narrative therapy activity where you're talking about these stories and the meaning that we attach to them, and then we're kind of deconstructing and reconstructing to have more realistic and more life-affirming thoughts and beliefs about ourselves. So after we've done that with all of the core thoughts that they have about themselves or their core beliefs, you have this beautiful sense of self that kind of matches what Riley's looks like in the movie. It takes a couple of days to completely dry, but they can keep this as a reminder to themselves about those thoughts that they have about themselves, their core beliefs about who they are as an amazing person.